From the depths of the ocean, an ancient statue has resurfaced after 38 years. The latest images from the Titanic wreck site hold a surprise. RMS Titanic Inc., the company leading the exploration, brought back 2 million photos of the wreck site and some unexpected discoveries. Researchers from RMS Titanic Inc. have recovered a bronze statue of Diana, the Roman goddess of the hunt, from the wreckage of the Titanic. Missing for over 30 years, this 6.5-foot statue once graced the first-class lounge of the ill-fated ship, but that's not all. The team also noted significant deterioration in the Titanic structure. A 16-foot section of railing has collapsed, speeding up the ship's decay. Factors like salt corrosion, metal-eating bacteria, and deep-sea currents are rapidly eroding this iconic ship. RMS Titanic Inc., based in Atlanta, USA, has been recovering artifacts from the ship for decades. In a press release on September 2nd, they stated that they began the expedition on July 12th and spent 20 days at the site, sending remotely operated vehicles to the ship. The researchers brought back 2 million photos. The July expedition was the company's 9th since its first visit to the wreck in 1987, bringing together a team of underwater imaging experts, oceanographers, scientists, and historians to capture new footage of the wreck to assess its condition, identify artifacts in areas of concern, and contribute to ongoing preservation efforts. However, this time, the company did not recover any artifacts, having to change plans after lawsuits from the federal government and criticism from scientists who argue that the site should be left undisturbed as a memorial to the victims. This expedition took place about a year after the Titan's submersible disaster that killed a leading maritime expert who was conducting research for RMS Titanic. In the latest expedition, cameras also captured the Diana of Versailles statue, a 2.5-foot bronze statue of the Roman goddess Diana. The statue was discovered by the expedition team in 1986, and most experts believed it was lost forever. According to the company's press release, finding the Diana statue was a top priority for the team. A replica was once placed on the mantelpiece in the ship's first-class lounge, but the lounge was torn apart when the ship sank and the statue was lost in the wreckage. The statue of Diana, the Roman goddess of the hunt, was found trapped on the ocean floor with one arm raised towards the surface, her bronze cloak blending into the dark sediment. The footage shows a section of railing at the bow of the ship has collapsed. The Titanic's bow was featured in a famous scene from the 1997 film Titanic, in which the character Jack embraces Rose from behind as she pretends to fly. As recently as 2022, images from another expedition showed the bow railing still intact. Much of the decoration in the ship's halls and rooms was made from organic materials that have decomposed after decades of being submerged in the ocean's harsh environment. However, the Diana statue remains standing upright amidst the miles of debris. While scientists are racing against time to preserve history, the legendary wreck is slowly disappearing. In 2019, footage from a series of dives by an exploration team from the company Triton Submarines revealed the impact of salt corrosion, metal-eating bacteria, and deep-sea currents on the ship's deterioration. Thomasina Ray, the director of collections at RMS Titanic, said in a press release that the research team was saddened by the evidence of decay, which reinforces our commitment to preserving Titanic's legacy. Researchers used 2 remotely operated vehicles to capture images and data of the wreck site. The RMS Titanic team is now focused on processing the data and images to share their findings with the scientific community. Controversy over exclusive salvage rights. Holding exclusive salvage rights to any artifacts from the wreck for 3 decades, RMS Titanic has faced efforts from the federal government and scientists trying to stop the company from disturbing the wreck site and taking artifacts from it. The July expedition was conducted for research purposes and not for recovery, but on 7 of the company's 9 expeditions, since 1987, teams have recovered about 5,500 artifacts. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the company tried to sell the artifacts in the early 2000s. Some scientists want the Titanic to remain untouched as a memorial to the lives lost in 1912. The Titanic lies in international waters off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. There is an agreement between Britain and the United States to protect the site. The United States passed a law in 2017 that requires government permission to salvage or alter the wreck site. In 2020, the United States tried to sue RMS Titanic after the company announced it would find a way to retrieve the Marconi wireless telegraph from the wreck, which would require cutting into the ship. A federal judge ruled that the company could proceed with its plan. About a year ago, the US government filed a motion to intervene, arguing that RMS Titanic needed government approval before it could access the wreck and its debris. This comes after the Titan submersible disaster in June 2023, when 5 people attempting to visit the site were killed when the submersible imploded. RMS Titanic's director of underwater research, Paul-Henri Nargeolet, was among those killed. The Titan was owned by a different company, but the tragedy has raised questions about expeditions to the wreck. Before the implosion, RMS Titanic had told the court that it would retrieve the telegraph without federal approval. But in a court filing in October 2023, it said it would pause the upcoming recovery mission out of respect for Mr. Nargeolet and his family, as well as the other 4 individuals who perished at the site recently. It is unclear if the company will continue to retrieve artifacts from the site in the future. A company spokesperson said in an email to the New York Times on September 2nd that it did not have any plans at this time. The company is reviewing data from this expedition to establish next steps, the statement said. The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia said the lawsuit against the company was ongoing. Federal investigators are still looking into the Titan implosion, and the exact cause has not been determined. Mr. Nargeolet's family has filed a lawsuit against OceanGate Expeditions, the maker of the Titan. Thomasina Ray, the Director of Collections at RMS Titanic, expressed sadness at seeing the ship's deterioration, while also affirming their commitment to preserving the Titanic's legacy. The rediscovery of the Diana statue and the ongoing decay are stark reminders of the ocean's relentless claim on history. The Titanic was 882 feet long, 92 feet wide, had a gross tonnage of 46,328, and was launched in 1912. It was the largest and most luxurious ocean liner of its time, built by the White Star Line of Britain. The Titanic struck an iceberg and sank on its maiden voyage across the Atlantic Ocean late on the night of April 14th into the early morning hours of April 15th, 1912. It sank about 900 miles east of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and about 400 miles south of St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, in about 12,500 feet of water. According to the report of the investigating committee formed by the U.S. Senate, of the 2,223 people on board, only 706 survived and 1,517 perished. It was the deadliest maritime disaster in history. Milvina Dean, born February 2, 1912, was the youngest person on board the Titanic, just over 2 months old when she boarded, a survivor of the accident, and died on May 31, 2009. She was the last remaining survivor of the Titanic. RMS Titanic Inc., a subsidiary of Premier Exhibitions Inc., owns the salvage rights to the Titanic wreck and has conducted 9 research expeditions to date, recovering more than 5,500 artifacts from the wreck site. What other secrets lie beneath the waves? Stay tuned to find out.